final topic, I guess, for today? Games.
Sure, yeah, games. And strong.
And
We know a lot about games here. So, what is it? What are the games that you've been playing?
I've been playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
And, like, I don't get why that would actually be a good game. I mean, it just seemed like Pokemon shovelware to me.
Have you played Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yeah.
It's a tactics Pokemon. It's not in the name, but
I guess that's why I wouldn't like it, because I'm not really into a strategy. You know,
it's not really. It's like tactics where there's a grid on the floor, and when you make one step, the enemy will make one step.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no like turn. I guess it's turn based as well, but you don't see like a turn based screen pop up. It's just you attack, your friend Pokemon attacks, and then the enemy attacks. And like as you move, you have a belly, which is I guess every 10 steps you make, 1 point goes down. And
so is that like your hunger?
Yeah, like your hunger. You have like you start off with 100, and when you get to like 10, you eat an apple to fill up your hunger, so you'll be full. Like you're walking around and busting.
Like I'm not into Pokemon games. Like I played Diamond for the DS, and like actually playing Pokemon, I can't stand it. Like I'm not into Japanese RPGs. Like the ones I've been playing is like Suikoden 2 and Persona 2. I mean, they're turn-based, but they have something different in them. But Pokemon, I can't stand it. So like what I did was I hacked my Pokemon in my saves, and then I'd play those in high school when we had all the people with the DSs and play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
In one place.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, you fight me. If you lose, I keep your game. And if I lose, you keep my game. If you lose, I keep your game. And I play with my hacked Pokemon. You could totally tell they're hacked. I had like a speed 999 Slowpoke, and I had the God Pokemon, which you could only get from like going somewhere and getting it. No, Arceus, the actual God Pokemon that created everything.
Wow.
Yeah, you can only get it from like a code that someone gives you.
For the Nintendo thing?
Yeah. And then they saw it. I'm like, man, you're hacking. Forget this. I didn't really keep anybody's game. It was just for fun. But yeah, hacking's really fun. Like, you can make a Metapod fly. And it's hilarious, because, like, you start thinking about it, I'd laugh my ass off if I saw if I saw a flying Metapod. Like, that's not supposed to be right.
Speaking of which, in Mystery Dungeon, there's... spoiler alert, I guess. But there's this one scene in there where you save a Diglett from a high cliff, and when you get back to the ground, you and your team are there and talking to the Diglett, and the Diglett says, my feet still feel like they're floating up in the air, and right then and there, all the Pokemon just, it's kind of like a Metal Gear with a little exclamation mark. They're like, what?
They're like, what? Feet?
Yeah, like,
Feet? Like,
what the hell?
Who thought of Diglett having feet?
Yeah, to me, Diglett, like, sort of just, it just ends.
It's like a...
It's
like a mushroom. No, it's like a bullet.
Yeah, it's like a bullet, round, and then it just squares off on the bottom. But
I guess, like, what does its feet look like?
It's a little, yeah.
Like, what does it look like? Like, is it just like squiggly lines, like a Pac-Man ghost?
Probably. But, but yeah, that, and I stayed up. I played 3 hours of Touch the Dead, and I beat the game for the Nintendo DS.
3 hours? Like, was it tough?
It's hard as hell, but halfway through the game, after you get the crowbar, I decided you know what, I'm not taking
Wait, you can get a crowbar?
Yeah, you get a crowbar in that game. It's the most useless.
Well, I would guess so, because there's like far away zombies, and like, what would you use a crowbar for?
The only thing that crowbar was used for was opening 2 doors or 3 doors, and for the last boss fight, which was incredibly frustrating.
Wait, what would you need the crowbar for the last boss fight for?
To hit a switch.
Oh, really?
That's in front of you, that you can grab with your other hand.
So, that really does sound pretty worthless.
It is the most retarded weapon ever put into a video game.
Well,
that I can think of
for that video game.
for that video game. I guess I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, like every other crowbar in every other game, like Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
It's the most useful weapon. It doesn't need ammo. Does a lot of damage.
Yeah, but for Touch the Dead, it's a rail shooter.
Yeah, like how do you work into a melee weapon with a rail shooter?
Yeah, it's
Like that's weird.
it's so horrible.
But you beat the game.
Yeah, I beat the game.
So how was the ending?
The ending was I can compare it to the Zelda CDI ending.
Yeah, of course. My boy.
Like, I guess this is a another spoiler alert, but the ending is the guy going into a helicopter and flying off. No explanation. The only dialogue is, "You're more dangerous than I thought."